Greetings and welcome. We are the OMZL Healing Sanctuary, and we are here with the Rising Order. Sorry for the delay. There was a couple of things that came up, but we are definitely here. And we thank you so much for tapping in and being a part of what is it that we're doing here. As you can imagine, it's not an easy thing to put these bigger productions together and being able to be more orderly, but we're here. So we are the OMZL Healing Sanctuary. We're located in North Bergen, New Jersey. And my name is Omar. My wife's name is Aziel. People often call me OMZL, which is fine. Um, but what I can tell you is that I've been doing this for a while now. And I have a number of years of experience in life in general. So it sort of makes me like an authority in some areas. So, being that I'm here and exposing myself to many of these different situations, it has helped me to assist other people in being a better version of themselves. So, we like to say that we are sitting in a Ferrari, a high performance vehicle. And whoever made us like this, and we should be putting high octane fuel into this machine and taking it out for a spin every now and then. Excuse me. So that's what this is all about. This is about helping each of us understand, including myself, that whoever made us here for a purpose. We need to know a couple of things in order to be the best version of ourselves. So, with that said, and hopefully people are tapping in at this time, we like to start off with a couple of things. And that is some of the pillars that we stand by here at OMZL. One of them is your spiritual growth, your higher power, the creator, God, the universe, however it is that you want to explain it. Do you even recognize that there is something like this here in your life? And once you realize that, how is it that you're approaching it? I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking woo woo. I'm talking about there is something else out there that you perhaps quite can't understand or not always sure on how to approach. Yes, of course, you can go to these institutions and they can tell you a set of rules and do this and then do this afterwards and you'll be fine. But there are some things that we know inherently that serve us well. And then there's other things that we could see that are really serving other people. So that's basically a clear way for me to explain some of that. But we should realize that there is a higher power outside of us, and we should, or we can, approach it in a certain way. You know, the other pillar that we stand on is self awareness. Right? Are you a self aware person? Do you know who you are? You know, you should be self aware. The maxim that was over the temples in ancient Kemet and in Greece and other places like this, it's clearly said, know thyself. It was almost as if it was saying, before you come in and ask for anything from any higher source, you first should know who you are. What makes you tick? What do you like? What serves you well? Because I like certain things too, but if it doesn't serve me well in the long run, then perhaps I should reevaluate that. What are your habits? What are the good ones? What are your rituals? What is it that makes your day come alive? What puts fire underneath you? That way you can move through this life being a creator rather than just consuming things. So that's another one that we stand on strongly. We need to cultivate that deep understanding of the thoughts and the emotions and the behaviors of what makes us tick every single day. Because when there's no enemy within, then no enemy outside can do you no harm. That's an old proverb. Um, the other one is our relationships. How is it that we're approaching them? Right? We have relationships with our wife, with our children, with our coworkers, with our neighbors, people that we do business with, people that we work with when you're receiving services or goods at the local store or online. How is it that we are cultivating these relationships? We need to find a way where we come to terms with some of these things and these people, because they're very important, especially our family, our close people in our lives, our loved ones, because in the end, we always ask for these people. We don't ask for the money. Bring me my money. Bring me my cars. Bring me my accolades, or all of these worldly possessions. No. In the end, we always ask for our loved ones. Bring me my children. Bring me my family. I want to be next to them and near them now at this time. So we should honor these people, right? Honor them because they will be there when times get rough and things get very thin. They'll be the ones that'll be there and stand for you. So we need to understand these things and approach them properly and honor them. The next one is life's purpose. What is your purpose? Let's get serious here. Take a moment and think about it. Why are you here? Yes, it seems like we've just been dumped here and we just have to survive it to the end and then we're gone. No. See, we have to know our purpose. What is it that lights us up? Why are we here? We're not just here to go to a job and get money and then go give it to someone else, and that's our main purpose. And occasionally we go on vacation and things of that nature. No, we need deeper self-reflection. That way we can see, okay, I see what I is that I'm meant to do here in this life. And perhaps you don't know what that is. And maybe we can help you with that. I don't know. We are open to that, but you should take time to find out, what is it that you like? What is it that you love to do? Maybe it's writing, maybe it's painting, maybe it's helping others, maybe it's, building buildings, or I don't know what it is, see, because I know what my purpose is. And this is my purpose here. This is one of the things that I'm here for, is to help other people and to serve. My life's goals and what is it that I like to do, they could be different too, right? Because I enjoy running and I want to push my body, a strength train, and I want to accomplish things physically. Those are my goals. Those are my dreams. I want to create and paint things and make these things look beautiful and admire them. But my purpose here is to serve others in these different capacities. That's why we have the Purple Sage Festival. That's why we have the Windhorse Rising Men's Experience. You see, we have offerings, and that is my purpose, is to help to put these things together with the help of others too. You see, and then let them flow naturally as they should, not to sell people as if we're a used car salesman. No, that's not the purpose here. The life's purpose is just to step and to lean into those things that you enjoy, as if they couldn't pay you or give you anything for these things. So this is one of the other ones. And then the last pillar, there's five of them. The last one is the plan of action. Putting all of these things that I told you about, putting them together in some comprehensive plan. Because if you don't plan, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. You should have some sort of goal, because if you don't, it's like being in a boat without a rudder, no sail, no oar, just get in the boat thinking about this beautiful tropical island that you want to go to be on the beach and just take a nice suntan and eat some good food. And you get into the boat and you sit there and you just wait and drift. And then the storms come of life. And then you end up somewhere else with some other people, some place that you didn't want to be with. Why? Because you didn't have a plan. So those are the pillars that we stand on. I want to also share with you some of the things that have served me well. Now, I'm not saying that at this stage of the game, at this age that I am in, or in the experience that I've went through, that I have the answers to everything or to tons of things. I'm not saying that because that wouldn't be true. In fact, we say that when you meet the guy who has the shoe that fits everybody, stay away from him because not all shoes fit everyone. But what we are saying is that we have done, myself personally, I have done some things that have served me well. Yes, they've been a struggle in some areas in order for me to obtain this position that I see myself in at the moment. But they have been tested and tried. And I would suggest that you try some of these things, not half try them. It's like saying, I don't like Chinese food because I ate Chinese food one time. There's all different sorts of Chinese food. Szechuan, there's northern, southern, there's the spicy and sweet and all sorts of things. So I'm just suggesting that you try some of these things on. Give it a solid try. Try them on like a new pair of shoes. Walk with them for a while. Give a good long walk in them. And then see if they do fit you well. See if it does help you. And then get back to us. I'd love to hear some of these things. The first thing I wanted to mention is rising early, right? We usually don't say morning because we're not morning anything. We're rising. When we get up, we rise. We suggest that you rise early. Why? Because that's your personal time. It's your thing. And some of these things that I'm mentioning, maybe you do encompass them, but, or maybe there is one thing that I may mention that you'll take on. And if you walked away with just one thing tonight, that will be one more tool in your arsenal to help you. So there's rising early. It's your time. It's the quiet time. It's for you to do whatever it is that you want to do before life starts pulling at you in all different directions. The emails, the phone ringing, the family, the children, whatever your situation is, the dog, the cat, your mom, your dad, people that need your time and your energy. But when you rise early, it's your time. You do what is it that you want. So our lives are made up basically of routines and rituals. I'm going to explain to you some of mine and try to make them as short as possible. When I rise, I come out of a fasting state. I haven't eaten anything or taken in any liquids for quite a number of hours. So when I rise, first of all, I don't reach for the phone. Let's just get that out of the box immediately. Please do yourself some service. But when I do rise, I drink water. I drink about 16 ounces of room temperature water with a squeeze of lemon and sea salt. It's the closest thing to alkalining your body. We need to alkaline our body, which basically means getting the acid out of our body. Because most sicknesses, like 85% or 95% of sicknesses, come from inflammation. That comes from the foods we eat. It's too much acid in our bodies. And reaching for coffee and eggs and bacon is causing far too much acidity. If we were to turn our bodies inside out like a sock, you would get to see all of your organs are inflamed. And that's where most sicknesses come from. In fact, if you don't believe me, look it up, and look up Dr. Sebi while you're at it. He did mention that there's only one sickness, and that is the inflammation that comes from the foods we eat and things of that nature. So there's water. Then I go for some hot tea. I don't go for coffee, but I drink green tea. I would go for loose leaf tea, not Lipton back tea. I would stay away from those type of things. Um, I would say up your game. Try to get some loose green tea. Let that steep for a while you freshen up and take care of those other hygienes like brushing your teeth and your face and showering and using the restroom. Um, I often also in the rising at some point I take in sea moss. If you know what that is, you should buy it properly. You should take about 3 tablespoons a day of it. It helps with great gut health, and it has something like 92 minerals of the 102 that your body needs. So it's a superfood. After that, I get into some physical activity. If you're not doing physical activity, you're doing yourself injustice. You should be doing something. Because I mentioned earlier that we are sitting in a high performance vehicle. This is a Ferrari, Testarossa. But if you don't do any physical activity, it's like getting in the Ferrari, turning it on, and then just sitting there and that's it. You don't take it out for a drive. You don't take it for a spin. Check the tires. See how fast it goes. How quickly it spins and things of that nature. Does it go in reverse? And this is what we need to do. Some physical activity. For myself, there's a number of things that I do. Yoga. I do about 20 minutes of yoga. If you don't do yoga, you should. It's recorded over 5,000 years. It's a powerful tool. You can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, 30, whatever suits you. Look on YouTube. There's many free things, many free teachers there. Find one that you like. I also like to run too. Running is a deep form of meditation for me too. Your mind is staying with the breath and pushing yourself, and you'd be surprised how you can clear all the cobwebs, the mental fog, and then you get all of these downloads and you get to clear all the garbage out while all the good things keep coming in. I also do strength training as well, and different number of activities like stretching and qigong and energy movement, things like that, depending on the day. I don't do all of these things. It depends how my day is going and what sort of things and demands pull on me. I'm usually up at about 4 a.m., but sometimes I'm up at 5 and sometimes I'm up at 6 too. So it all depends. But I try to stay consistent and persistent with these things. And I'm hoping that if there's anything I say to you this evening, is that you should be consistent in what you do. Be consistent and track everything. This is a huge thing for us too. Track it in your calendar. Track perhaps you have a book, but if you have an app, it's sort of once you close your phone, it's out of sight and out of mind. So tracking is a huge one. We use a desk calendar or a yearly calendar. I have two of them that are right over here. I have a yearly calendar, and I also have the monthly one that I'm tracking every day, and use different color markers because psychologists know that if everything's in one color, it just fades to the background. So tracking is a huge one. Breath work is a big one as well. There's tons of science behind this as well. It extends your life. It alkalines your blood. Um, it helps to expand your diaphragm. It increases your cardio. So let's say you do MMA or you lift weights or you do track and field or some physical activity. Breath work will help you tremendously. Meditation. This is a huge one for us too. If you're not meditating, you should. For me, 10 or 15 minutes really sets my day beautiful. When things come that are kind of hard in my life, I deal with them much better. I don't always accomplish that. So I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I'm not saying that I have everything all together. Sometimes I lose my cool and, I yell at my kids when I shouldn't, or say something slick to my wife or, or to someone and things like that. And I just lose it. But I always try to come back and with the deep apology and awareness of my behavior. I try to come back to that as quickly as possible. Where do I get that from? That comes from meditation, by being quiet and being still and listening to your mind, or listening to what's coming in too. Some people say I can't meditate because all I think is everything. My mind is racing, and that's what meditation is. That will subside after a while. What you should do is just look at those thoughts and see them like clouds passing in the sky. That's it. Don't cling on to them. We like to movie make. Just allow them. So here I am. My day is starting. I've accomplished quite a few things. Then I have my day. For some of you, you get out of bed, you're 3 minutes away from your job, which is from the bed to the living room where you turn your computer on, it fires up, and you're there. Some people do commute, but this is what I will say. We should be watching the things that we eat, right? When you break fast, you should be having fruit first thing in the morning. Maybe that's not good for some people, but find what fits for you. Um, but now, lunchtime. This is an important meal because we get hungry after we spend a lot of energy. Meal prep, real players meal prep. Get yourself some bowls, hopefully glass. Try to stay away from plastic, but some bowls, and then cook your meal on Sunday evening for 5 days. I know what you're saying. Some of you, I can't eat the same thing for 5 days. Then you should be cooking two different meals or mix and match things. Make it interesting. See what works for you. And then pack those foods and put them in the fridge. They are ready on the fly. Let's say you don't want to eat that meal cold. Take it out in the morning, leave it out, even if you're carrying it, and then let it naturally warm, with the temperature of the room. Please don't microwave your food. This is not a good idea. It's cancer causing, and microwaving, it changes the molecular structure on a cellular level to your body, and it's just not a good thing. So I would stay away from that. Trust me, there's tons of science behind this and behind many things that I'm saying. So don't take my word for it. Investigate these things. See something new, and perhaps you could come back to me and teach me a thing or two because I love that as well. Now in the evening time, what do? We do some more stretching. I may do some breath work as well. And this is super, super helpful for me. It helps me not to fall asleep, but to drift off to sleep the way we really should be, not just passing out, but drifting off. Box breathing helps me. If you know what that is, just imagine in your eye a box and circumvent the box. When you go on the bottom, you breathe in with the count of five in your mind as you're breathing in: one, two, three, four, five. And then when you go up on the side, you count to five, but you hold that breath. And then when you go across the top, you release that breath with five. And then when you go back down the other side, you hold your breath for five, and then you begin again. Super helpful. And in addition, I believe every home should have a spiritual center, like an altar, some place where you can come and be peaceful and approach that higher thing that you see. Perhaps you light a candle or burn a bit of incense or sage or copal, or Palo Santo or something like this. It's extremely helpful. Helps to keep you centered and helps to keep you aware of what's going on in the bigger picture. Um, so I see there's a few people online. Thank you so much. I see you, family. Thank you for tapping in. If there's any questions, um, you know, let me see something. I see some people are asking questions here. We're on different platforms. So let's see. Okay. One question is, what if you've tried a routine before and it failed? What I would say to that is tweak it. You know, sometimes we don't give things enough chance to build. So if you just tweak it a bit, maybe there's still worth there. There's something of value. Maybe you want to do it for a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. I'd have to know what that routine is, and that's where the tracking comes in. So for my routine, when I do yoga, I write it down. You see, that way I know that I've done yoga for 2 times last week, or 3 times, or four. You see, so I know that it's working. But if you don't write it down, you wouldn't know. Let's see what else we got here. This is a great one. Thank you for asking. How much time does this require each day? It depends on what is it that you want to do. I like to have as much time as I can for myself. You see, so that's why I'm up at 4. But once the kids are up at about 6:30 or 7, then that's it. It's over. So that leaves me like about 2 hours. It's quite a bit of time. But once I rise, there's a whole routine that I'm going through. I'm drinking the water and I'm stretching. I take a shower. And, if I'm going running now, I'm putting on my clothes, and I'm going out. But what I would also say is prepare your things. This comes from Atomic Habits. This is a beautiful book. It's a powerful one as well. And I like to mention that we have a folder that we share with people. You provide your email address. Where we have it is at the website. And the website is omzielhealingsanctuary.com. There'll be a pop-up where you could sign up to subscribe, with the promise that you will receive a blueprint, which is these modalities that are about man, I think there's about 16 or 17 of them. This blueprint, um, it's helping you to live a purposeful life, and it's something that I've poured myself into. No AI or nothing like that. I've handwritten all of these things down, transferred them, and put them in a very simple, comprehensive way for people to use and to integrate them in their own daily lives. So if you're interested, you could hit me up privately as well. I can share the folder that I'm speaking to you about that we share as well. It has um, audio books and PDF books as well. And Atomic Habits seem to be one of them that's there, among other ones. Books on finance, books on health, books on spirituality, and how to be sexful in different areas. So if you're interested, please just give me your email. Send it to me. You could DM me. Perhaps that'll help someone out as well. Let's see. Do we have another question coming up? Hmm. Okay. What kind of change do people usually notice? The one that I noticed for myself is the sleeping, right? Once I was getting up early, I was normally getting up at about 7, and then I was out the door by 8 to get to the job by 9. Or even if it was at home, I was getting up roughly about 7, 7:30, and then running around like a chicken without a head in order to get to the place or to please these other powers. I don't do that anymore. I'm full-time OMZL, and I answer to a higher authority now. So what I noticed was the sleeping. It was not easy for me to get up earlier. So what I did was I started pushing back my alarm clock just a little bit, because when you push it back 10 or 15 minutes, the body really doesn't know the difference there. When you push it back an hour, of course it's going to be difficult. It's 1 hour. Your body's going to realize, hey, there's a significant change in the sleep pattern that's happening. I don't like it. And then I found myself yawning all day or falling asleep at the computer. And if I sat down anywhere, that's it. I took a power nap, right on the bus or the train or in the store, which is not healthy. So that's what I would suggest. Start slow. Start with something that you can adjust to, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then do that for a while until it doesn't serve you anymore. And then, push it back a little bit more, or push it forward and give it a break a little while, but be determined and be consistent. That's one of the things that we have here that we're trying to emphasize. Again, we're not saying that we have all of the answers here, but we are saying that some of these things, they have helped to improve my life and they help to improve the life of the people around me. No, it's not what people would say like a perfect scenario where everything is going to be perfect. It's not like that, but yet it is perfect because we are struggling. And when we struggle, we grow. If we're not struggling, there's no growth behind that. You have to push yourself. And these are one of the things that we speak about here at OMZL. And I could see how some people don't come around anymore, or don't want to be a part of some of these things. Why? Because yes, it's challenging, and it's putting a mirror up to you and your life, and not everybody's with that. They're not willing to make that change. But for every one person that does not stick with some of these things that we're doing here, man, there's truckloads of people that do it, that are involved, and we're growing by leaps and bounds in different areas. So we do have um, a couple of things that are happening here. One of them is these things that I speak of, this conversation we're having here. It's the Rising Council. This is the name that has come to us. And this is where you're receiving some sort of counsel from someone who knows a little bit about some of these things. And they're super powerful, if you only apply them a bit. And yes, it's been geared to men because we're working with men. We're an organization that has been around for about 11 years now, but it's only been in the past 6 or 7 years that we've been aggressive with these things. And I have put myself out here in the social media. I've made myself a presence that people know who I am when they see me. Here's this guy again talking about these things. Yes, I'm here again. And if you're interested in leveling up, if you're interested in doing something that is meaningful and purposeful, and finding the clues to some of these questions, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What is it that I'm doing with my life? Why can't I get these things right? Why do I keep falling back into the darkness? Why do I abuse myself? I go out to have a good time, and then I come back, I'm drunk. I forgot what I said or I did, or I lost money, and I hurt this person, or I said these things. So getting back, yes, we gear these things to men, but this is for everyone, for women and men. This is a lifestyle. It's to do something that works for you, whatever serves you best. That's what I would say. Do those things and be consistent with them. So we do have a men's training coming up, and we've had quite a number of them. We've been doing these things for years. We recently have a solid place where we get to practice these things in a consistent location. It's located in Newport, New York, which is about 1 hour and a half away. Is Newport or Newport? I think it's Newport. It's about an hour and a half from where we're located in North Bergen. And if you're in Manhattan or the tri-state area, it will be close to 2 hours. It's a beautiful drive up there. The stewards of the land are in charge of over 250 acres of land. The last one we did was just recently in December. There's a couple of brothers that are online. I see them right now. They've been to these things, they've come, they've supported, they've received quite a great deal of tools in order to help transform their life. And there's been many brothers that show up too that have many great things together. You could say their life is complete. They do some of these things for a tune up only, and they especially come to share their knowledge and their counsel with other men. If you think about ancient times, right? We lived in smaller villages. Men would go out and hunt. Women, they would be gathering and making clothing, and they had lots more communication. Men did not. Men had to be silent. See, because we were hunting, and whatever we were hunting was also hunting us too. So we fall back on a bit of those communication skills. That's why this work is so important for men. We live in a patriarchic society. It's mainly ruled by men. Yes, there's women that are coming up and they make these huge decisions, but they're acting like men too. They're straight killers, as you already know. I don't want to get too dark on some of these things. But what I am saying is that men, we do need to check ourselves. Perhaps we need to fall back a bit on that egotistical thing. With two left brain, the right thing, the right brain is how women think, with arts and poetry and creativity. We need to be more like that instead of left brain where we break everything and push things and force things and stuff like that. So we have this men's training coming up on February the 20th, the 21st and the 22nd. It's a short time, and it's purposely meant this way because it's concentrated training. There's workshops. We go hiking. There's a cold water mountain plunging. Um, we make our foods together, and we eat together. We meditate. We yoga. There's breath work, and there's all sorts of things. There's plenty of time to just chill out, relax too, take a walk, unplug, be in nature. Now, some people might think, man, I don't want to get in that cold water because I can't do it, and guys are going to laugh at me, or I'm going to back down. It's not a military camp. If there's some things that we're doing and you do not want to participate in it, which has happened. The last one we were in, we were doing a particular activity, and a brother said, hey, I want to sit this one out. And I said, great, you can help me out, help me facilitate this circle. And he did. And it was great. He received a great deal just by serving other men. So the place is beautiful. There are 4 bedrooms, 5 beds. We take out the air mattresses too. There's a huge deck in the back with an amazing view. There's a fireplace inside, a piano as well. Um, yeah, there's so many great things I can tell you about the land, the people that are there. They're open-minded. They're giving. They're free to to help us to share the space and the things that we're doing. We also have some other things that are coming up as well. We have the June 13th is the Purple Sage Festival. We're looking for vendors. We're looking for people that are servicing, different healing modalities, perhaps services like massage, things like that. All sorts of vendors as well, food vendors and jewelry and art. Hit me up. Let me know if you'd like to be a part of this. Perhaps you're a musician as well. We're looking for musicians to come in and to perform, that gift that you've been holding on to, and to give you a chance to perform in front of people, to practice your craft and get great feedback, and also to be introduced to a wider audience, to a bigger tribe, and to be a part of something that's outside of yourself. In addition to that, we are also having a June, um, wow, I think it's June 27th or something. This is a new thing we're doing, by the way, and it's happening in June. It's already set. It's in the same location in New Paltz. It's called the Stone Mountain Farm. You can just look them up. That way you can learn about them, see what they're doing. But that's taking place on June the 26th, 27th, and 28th. This is a father and son retreat. So for the men, that have other young men. We are asking if you love to be a part of this, look into it. We've already made a Facebook event, and believe I made a flyer that I posted briefly, just a teasing, but we're going to put out a full blown flyer with details and different posts. So if you'd like to be a part of this and bring your son at any age, come through. There's going to be, light competition between father, between dad and son. And there's going to be workshops and hiking as well, and food and storytelling and things like this by the fire, the way it should be, you know. A rite of passage. I know that this is a new buzzword, and I like to stay away from these buzzwords. I'm not trying to get on the wagon on some of these things, but we are missing these things. That is the facts. I never received the rite of passage, and the one that I did was painful. I thought it was cool at the time. It had to do with alcohol and promiscuous living and things that didn't serve me well. Um, and then I found out later on that I should have gotten the council of men, where there was adult men, real men, responsible, self-aware men standing around me and telling me now is the time, right around that age, crucial, 12, 13 years old, telling me now is the time you're going to be a man. You can still do those things of a young person, but know that this is the threshold where you're stepping into your manhood at the moment. So I think that's about it, what I wanted to share with everyone. There's so much more I can talk about. And thank you for everyone who tapped in and left some questions as well. Perhaps I can re-air this again, and other people can get some benefit from this too. So thank you so much for tapping in, family. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Let me know how you like this, or didn't like it. Feedback is crucial for me, and take things with a grain of salt. Never take it personal. So it would help me a great deal for the growth of us and OMZL. Thank you for those that have been sticking with us all this time. You know, I really appreciate it. You helped me so much, and my family thanks you as well. Peace and love, family.